Hey guys, what's up? It's Baller. Welcome you back to another Pokemon TCG Pocket video. This one is going to be a very quick one, mainly because I'm just working on some other things at the moment, but I did want to go ahead and get this out because at Pokemon Worlds 2025 the other night, basically in all of the afterwards and everything that was said, we had a couple announcements, and one of those was a set tease, not really a release, of Mega Evolution Pokemon. And I want to go over all of those here. Again, we don't really have dates or anything for it yet, besides that it's coming in the fall, so let's go ahead and get started. The first Pokemon that we saw up is going to be Mega Altaria EX. It's a second type Pokemon with 190 HP, and before I move on to the move, it's actually very important to note that this is an evolution from Swablu. This isn't an evolution from Altaria, so it's quite different than how Mega Evolution has worked in the past. Not that that really matters, but just letting you know ahead of time that this is an additional stage that you have to go through. It's just from Swablu, and then you basically get Mega Altaria as if it was a regular Altaria. But then we have the move Mega Harmony for 40 plus damage for 2 energies, with the effect this attack does 30 more damage for each of your bench Pokemon. Now in general, this Pokemon seems pretty good, as I'm sure most of the Megas will be. This is my first time going through them. Being able to basically boost the damage of your move just by very naturally having and setting up your board is one of the best things that you can possibly have control over. And the ability to do 130 damage for only 2 energies, to me, is very insane, because this is a super low commitment sort of Pokemon to have. Maybe it not reaching 200 HP might make it a little bit more susceptible, but just thinking about this logistically, you can very easily have a turn 2 where you're able to get your energy attach on Swablu, and then you have a turn 4 where you're able to evolve into Mega Altaria EX, and then you're just doing 130 damage. Like, if your opponent isn't keeping up with that, or at least if they don't have their own big EX Pokemon, you're probably just going to run through them. And the single retreat cost, while it is, rather basic and not like super spectacle or anything like that, is good, especially when you have a Pokemon this big, because if you have to retreat, then, you're going to want to make sure you either have an X speed or whatever ready, and at that point it's basically free. But yeah, just overall, Mega Altaria EX looks like a banger Pokemon, and hopefully these next couple will also satisfy. Next up, the other Pokemon we have is Mega Gyarados EX. It has 210 HP and is a water type, and it has Mega Blaster for 140 damage, but it requires 4 energies, and it says discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Now, even though 4 energies is a little bit hard to swallow, water is more than capable of doing this, and the ability to mill the top of your opponent's deck is so incredibly powerful. This can cut them off of evolution lines that ordinarily would be a core part of their strategy, and same thing with any basic Pokemon that they would need as, the prerequisite. But this is also capable of milling trainer cards, so stuff like Cyrus and Sabrina, which are just cards that can completely flip the game on its head, you can just lose those. And the 140 damage on its own is still very, very good. This is basically a 2-hit KO on most EX Pokemon. So now we're starting to see a trend where Mega Evolutions are just kind of nuts, and we'll go over the fact that they do have the Mega Evolution EX rule. But just reading it verbatim, when your Mega Evolution Pokemon EX is knocked out, your opponent gets 3 points. Now you see the risk of running a card like that. Not necessarily that you shouldn't run it at all, but you definitely will have to find ways to preserve your Mega EX Pokemon, or else, again, Cyrus is just going to be there to snipe a KO on the off chance that you try and be defensive. So I think Megas in general will require some more methodical deck building, just so that way you can have that equal offense and defense to prevent yourself from immediately losing the game, say you lose one of your Megas. The third card we are shown is Mega Blaziken EX. It has 210 HP and is a fire type, and it has the move Mega Burning for 120 damage for 2 energies. It says discard a fire energy from this Pokemon, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. Now this is a really, really interesting card, because Mega Burning doesn't really have a huge downside. Discarding energies for a huge payoff is usually not that bad, and especially when you're only being forced to discard 1, I think that this isn't that bad at all. But even better is the burn ability. A lot of people just aren't running anything to heal special conditions, and assuming your opponent doesn't get a great coin flip, they may just be stuck with a burn until the Pokemon gets KO'd. And even though I love Mega Blaziken EX as a Pokemon and I would love to discuss him more, there's not really more to do. He's just a super solid Pokemon, and I think that he could be meta going into this future set. And during the Mega Blaziken section, we got a glimpse at it as a full art. Now, I don't really know that it was super out of the ordinary to see this. It was pretty easy to assume that these Mega EX Pokemon were going to be getting full art variants, and probably even a immersive variant, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. And believe it or not, that is it for this teaser. I was not lying when I said this is mostly a teaser, and we're probably going to be finding more information as we go later into fall, although I think it's highly likely that we're going to see the set pretty soon if it's going to coincide with Pokemon Legends ZA. But that's about all the coverage I have. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Hopefully you're having a fantastic night or day wherever you may be. I hope to see you next time.
See ya.